For you, please welcome Marda Anderson.
Thanks, Adam. How are y'all doing tonight? I came tonight on Capital Metro. They have this service for people with disabilities called Metro Access, where they pick you up and take you where you need to go. Problem is they have no concept of time. No wonder, since they measure it with a sundial. They have this thing called the 30-minute window, where they say they'll pick you up within 30 minutes of a certain time. But instead of a window, they should call it a black hole. Because when it comes to picking me up, time just stands still. Hi, Krisha. And sometimes they drop me off at the wrong place. Once they dropped me off at the wrong church. So now I'm a member of the New Sikh Temple. Dropped me at a Catholic church. First I'm thinking they must have a lot of new people because I don't recognize anybody. Either that or I've gone back into psychosis. Then before I know it, I'm up there and somebody's feeding me a cracker. I'm on a low-carb diet. And besides, if someone offers you a cracker, it should at least come with cheese. Another time they dropped me off at the wrong funeral. I'm sure when they started giving the eulogy, the dead person was a whole lot nicer than at the funeral I was at. They do is you'll schedule a ride for a Tuesday to pick you up on a Friday. Give me a break. Even when I'm hallucinating, I know what day it is. Every 4 years, I have an eligibility interview where I have to prove that I'm disabled. I just show up and walk into a wall. And they're like, you have to do it 3 times and get at least 2 out of 3. Then they take you outside and they want you to do things like cross the highway. Thinking that's one way to get people off the disability rolls. Then of course we have the train. It costs millions and it doesn't even go where you want to go. Like, really, who wants to go to Leander? If I want to go somewhere where nothing's happening, I'll just go to my house. Since no one rides the train, they're giving incentives to increase ridership. You know they're getting pretty desperate when they offer to pay you. Security. Have to do it every couple of years because they want to know if I'm making any money. My favorite question on the form is, have you discussed working with your doctor? My doctor? Yeah, right. With the amount of time my doctor spends with me, I'm lucky if I get to hang up my coat. Lots of people don't get blindness. Like, you go to their house and they show you where the bathroom is. The first thing they do is turn on the light. I worked at Texas School for the Blind. We had our open house recently. I remember open house when I was in school. You sat behind ropes and you demonstrated things like reading Braille or cooking or swimming or walking with cane, whatever the blind people are supposed to do. And the public would go by, and I didn't mind questions, but they would come up with the most outrageous ones. Like, they would ask the boys, how do you shave? We have Braille mirrors. And how do you eat? We have magnetic forks. My favorite one was, how do you know when you're asleep? The house mother comes in and tells me. When I was at the psych ward, I had to go to a goals group where you're supposed to have a daily goal. Mine was to escape. I also hated the medication they gave me, so another goal was to not take it. And it worked. I didn't take it. They held me down and shot me up instead. So, as you know, I'm blind, and you know it's going to be a bad stay in the psych ward when you can't see, and the nurse hands you a document and says, read this and sign here. Finally, I found a place to sign, but the nurse didn't appreciate that it was on her forehead. Then they take away my cane. They actually said, you could use that as a weapon. I'm thinking, give me a break. This is a folding cane. The worst I could do is poke a hole in a styrofoam cup. The mental health system doesn't get it when you have additional disabilities. First, they make me go up from the ER to the ward in a wheelchair. Hey, give me a break. It's my eyes that don't work, not my legs. And if you can't tell the difference, we're both in big trouble. And then they ask me 2 hours of questions like, what are your sleeping habits? Have you had problems with your digestion? Can you stop beating me with your folding cane? And then they give me meds to calm me down, but then I'm totally spaced out. And they're asking me stuff like, do you hear voices? And I'm thinking, I didn't before I came here. And the next day I see the doctor, and he says, do you know why you're here? Because the big car with the metal bench and brought me. He says, do you know what your diagnosis is? I'm thinking, isn't that your job? I wouldn't go into McDonald's and order a Big Mac and then have the counter guy say, okay, but you have to make it yourself. And if you want the fries supersized, you're on your own. In art therapy, the first thing they did was give me crayons. and tell me to draw how I was feeling. And then, when they remembered I couldn't see, they had me stringing beads together. And that made me feel a whole lot better. Especially when I used them to choke the occupational therapist. They say I have borderline personality disorder. The symptoms are emotional instability, fluctuating moods, and inability to sustain relationships. I'm not borderline, I'm Britney Spears. Then they say I have multiple personality disorder because I have too many diagnoses for just one person. They now call multiple personality disorder dissociative identity disorder. Dissociation is extreme spacing out. You don't have to be sick to have that, you just need to be a teenager. Having DID means that you sometimes use different names, have different religions, different tastes in clothes and food, and so on. I have a 15-year-old named Nicole who's really flirtatious, a straight-laced nun, and a male who thinks he's an Air Force general. Actually, a lot of Air Force generals are under that delusion. I also have another male personality who likes to do stuff around the house. He's the only one who's totally unrealistic. But it's weird taking my handyman, my nun, and my flirtatious teen shopping. The checkout person gets really confused when I show up with men's pants, a habit, and a pink teddy. I've been around the mental health system for a long time, since I had my first suicide attempt when I was 9, and then my first manic episode when I was 16. I won't tell you how old I am, but let's just say when I first entered the mental health system, the antidepressant of choice was a whiskey shoe